direct, which is he wrote and produced rather than directing, like Pretty in Pink and Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yeah,
really resonate. He was just responsible for so much great stuff during that era, and I don't know if we're ever going to see another like him. So
somebody will come up, because all it is, it takes, like, as you mentioned, it takes somebody to just be able to tap into that market and speak to kids, whether it be little kids or teenagers. But,
right, but
speak to them, not down to them.
But is somebody going to want to do that, or are they going to feel that ground's already been covered perfectly?
Every generation is going to have that, because teenagers change. I mean, right now, back then, 80s, the teenagers in the 80s were different from kind of how they are today. The kids stay the same, but the fashion is different, the lingo's different.
Well, they're all fucking now.
Shit, they were fucking back then. I mean,
yeah, but we live in a very weird world. It's one of those things that I can't fathom the youth of today in certain aspects. It's
getting older, my man. That's why.
No, not the getting older thing. The notion that really the thing that really messes with me is the fact that the internet has provided the youth of today with every aspect of knowledge they could ever want. When we were kids, we had to find it out by experience or maybe a dirty magazine. Now, I was with a girl when I was younger who she didn't know what a blowjob was. And she had no idea, and she wouldn't give me one because she was too embarrassed to actually acknowledge to me, I don't know what a blowjob is. After the first time I had asked her if in this day and age she could have gone home, typed it in, and said, and on seen videos of how to perform it, and then the next thing you know, it's like, wow, where did you learn this? It's
and she said, oh no,
I learned on the internet.
I thought you said she
I know you crocodile.
Yeah, keep talking like that. That's good. No, it'd be fun. I thought you were going to say she didn't know what a blowjob was. She went down to your crotch and went like,
No, but it was just one of those things where the girl was too mortified to admit that, no, I don't know what it is. Not understanding that I knew she was a virgin and I knew she had no idea.
See,
but
you worry. I'm jealous. I wish I was a teenager growing up with webcams. I would have had all kind of girls undressing on the internet.
You do that now.
Yeah, but
I've walked in on it.
Yeah, well, thanks for ruining the mood, man. At the time, I was right about there,
dude. And
she almost had a top off, and you were like, "Hey, fuck!"
I unzipped, whipped it out, and said, "Dude, it's a party."
And that's why we're like, the webcam just went off. I'll call you later, baby. Fuck, Carla, did it again. Oh well, while you're here, I want to make this a party one way or another. You owe me. So. Moving on here. You got anything else though? Hey, Nick, what about you, man? You got anything to put in on John Hughes?
No, on John Hughes.
But what you got anything to say?
Well, I guess the other guys are not going to forgive me unless I mention this. Can I plug a show that the podcast I've been doing? Okay.
Go ahead, yes. Go ahead.
No plucking.
Okay, all right.
All right, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay, a few Americans and a few Brits have been doing a interactive podcast for the Spill community called Foreign Exchange, where the idea is that once a week, actual Spill members can participate. And
you're doing this once a week?
Yeah, once a week. Yeah, like they've just I've done a couple of shows since I'm in America. They've replaced me with a few other guys. I think they said they were going to get James. Remember from the Spill party in London,
aka the mask with the button eyes.
The mask with the button eyes. Yeah, yeah. I think perhaps he may have taken my place. I'm still waiting for that podcast to be put up.
Basically, what it is that you guys are doing a podcast, and it's Spill members from America and Spill members from across the globe. So it's an international podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
And you guys have actually done a couple of shows, and they've taken off pretty well.
Yeah, like we just did it like a couple of weeks ago. We've already got 80 members and growing, which is quite cool. We just needed some, just to put the word out there.
Okay, so it's called Spill Foreign Exchange.
No, it's called the Foreign Exchange.
Foreign Exchange.
Yeah, Foreign Exchange.
And it's cool. This is what I really want to see you guys do. I'm happy to see you guys actually going off and creating your own things on Spill, and I think you should take this outside of Spill and put it on advertise it someplace else. That's what I was saying to Babalu Jack.
Yeah, last week we did a good show with Metal Virgin and Mexicano, which I had a great time doing that. So I'm really excited to see what they've done since I've been away.
Oh, so, cool, man. So it's Foreign Exchange. Go check out the group, and you invite people from for different podcasts.
No, it's just like anyone. We have like a little discussion forum. It's like anyone who wants to join you have to get Skype, which is free to download, and then you need to get yourself a headset with like a microphone or whatever, and then call one of us, and then we'll pick you for that certain week, and then we'll discuss whatever's on your mind and just really just talk a lot of bollocks and cod shit. You know,
Okay. You say this is cool, Corey, but they haven't called us. They haven't asked us to be on. What the fuck's that about?
Give it time. They will.
What the fuck's that
They've
all
already
about?
asked me if I wanted to come on one, so they'll call you. Every one of us is gonna get a call. But see, they know what they know what you'll say. I ain't got time to do that shit. Don't fucking call me.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, they're gonna fucking call me. Yeah. Well, good, man. I'm glad you guys are doing something and having it take on a life of its own. That's really cool.
Thank you very much.
You guys, but just really advertise it in other places, right? Don't limit yourself just to the site. Take it other places too.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to see if it does well.
Still say spill on there, but take it other places.
The full title done by Peanut Vendors, Foreign Exchange, the Spill Community Podcast. I just called it Foreign Exchange because I thought, if it's an international thing, you got a bunch of limeys and a bunch of Yanks doing it, then kind of makes sense to do that.
No, that's cool. That's good. And this is an international community, so this is the perfect thing for you to bring that even closer together. So. Let's go ahead and move to some email.
Oh, before we do that.
I'm sorry. What's up?
I had a podcast this week. For those of you that haven't checked it out yet.
The Slash Film?
On the Slash Filmcast. That went really well. That was a lot of fun. So if you want to hear more Carlisle, there's a podcast out there at, slashfilm.com, or you can Google Slash Filmcast and you'll find it. And this week's cast and this week's After Dark, I am the featured guest.
Cool.
It was a lot of fun.
What is Slash Film? Can I ask?
Slash Film is a
microphone blog.
Slash Film is a blog. It's a movie news blog. And it's one of the better ones. And they do a podcast every week on Monday nights where three of the writers from Slash Film get together with, they have a featured guest every week who's another notable film critic in the industry, usually online guys, or on rare occasions they have directors. They've had Kevin Smith, they had Duncan Jones, they had last week they had, I forget his name, Mark something, the guy who did 500 Days of Summer. So they pepper in these guys who make cool indie films with other film critics. And so last week I was the guest, and we talked about funny people and a bunch of the news.
I thought it was going to be about slasher films from the past, which would be quite cool. I wouldn't.
Carlisle's there with Jason Voorhees that week, so
that would be kick-ass.
They get a critic. Team
Actually,
up with a
there's a story about me for Jason Voorhees at a strip club, but that's for another time.
Damn it. Looking forward to that story.
All right, so we have an email here because we're coming up on hour mark pretty soon. We might be even over a little bit.
We're over an hour, but let's do an email.
Let's see.
As long as it's not from an asshole.
All right, Kara, I'm sorry. We got to skip you then. No, Kara gives an email. We never read an email from Kara. Kara is very active on the site, at least coming in and listening to our podcast. But she says...
Oh, this is the one you're always flirting with. Kara, go to bed. No, you 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 hang up first. No, you hang up first. It's so cute.
I must correct you. She flirts with me. Tells me to go to bed first.
Unless you get in there before
and then I say go to bed, and then I say, hey, come to bed with me. So, technically...
No, you go to bed. No, you go to bed. It's so cute.
I love Kara.
Yes, you do.
This is awesome where we had this thing we have with together. You can never come between it. She says,
God.
With John Wayne having his Swan song movie with the Shootist and Clint Eastwood having his apparent Swan song with Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
Do you like having famous actors or actresses having their Swan songs to celebrate their careers? Second, who else would you like to see have a Swan song movie? I hate when they say Swan songs because every time somebody says, this is my last movie, somehow they manage to come back. And I don't buy it for a minute when people say that, unless they're just really, really old, and I think they're going to die that next week. What, did you have something to say,
I love
Nick?
this question. I've got my dream answer. I want to have... I want to have...
About to cry.
I want to have an Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone movie but like really make it like Commando.
Well,
Like
you had that.
no. We would like what with the Expendables. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's co-starring. I mean, I want to be like lead role. I want to have like 300 corpses by the end. I want to be like hard boiled, but like really 80s cheesy kind of stuff. Like that would be my favorite film of all time.
That's actually kind of cool. I take that. What about you?
Well, I do want to see one last, good Schwarzenegger film, but I want to see a good one. I want to see him do one last really great, smart sci-fi or fantasy film. Something that was, when he came up doing stuff like Conan the Barbarian and the Terminator and that kind of stuff, and then kind of got into the garbage. And then, did some cool stuff like True Lies in the 90s. I want to see him do one more. If he does one more, I'd love to see him do a True Lies 2, which Cameron keeps saying isn't going to happen, but I'd like to see it. He's definitely one I'd like to see. Man, there's so many guys, but I'm trying to think of who I'd really, because I kind of don't want to say, like, he's the one guy that we know only has one more good movie in him, if at all, because, he's the governor now.
Yeah.
He wants to go into that and continue.
Has he finished it? Like,
What?
He's got like a few months to go.
He's very
done the
unpopular, so who knows what's
Well, no
gonna
shit,
go.
he's very unpopular. But
Yeah.
is he like once he'll be finished with this?
But
pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that he's just when you're done being governor doesn't mean that that's the end of your political career.
Yeah.
He could run as a senator. He could run as a congressman. He's been pushing for a long time to get the rules changed for presidency so that he could run for president, which he'd like to do.
That would be insane. There's no fucking way I would want that.
Oh
guy
yeah,
to be
because
president.
we don't vote based upon personalities.
That's one personality that just would be too crazy for me. You're right. I mean, that's a guy I just don't want to see. I think people, because that is one that we obviously would be voting for because he's
We've
in
had
action
3
films.
bad presidents in a row with personalities, so it's that. At this point, it's like sure, why
But this
not?
one we see it coming. I mean, this one it's projected like miles away. Arnold Schwarzenegger's fucking coming.
They've all
Don't vote
projected
for
it
this
miles
motherfucker,
away.
man.
Could you imagine his promotion commercials? Like it'll be like bum 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 bum. You see like the White House in flames.
the presidentator.
That's what I'm afraid of. That kind of shit right there. It's like this guy I do not want. But anyway, so I can't think of anybody right now that I want a swan song
on, man.
from. I mean, besides Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, if I want a swan song for a series with a couple of guys who are older, I want to see one last Lethal Weapon to that's sort of a makeup for that Lethal Weapon 4. What's that?
I disagree on the Lethal Weapon aspect, but I really, really wish the new Mad Max movie starred Mel Gibson. I want to see one last really great Mel Gibson.
So it's not going to be Mel Gibson?
No, they're going to do the young Mad Max.
Oh, fuck that, man.
I want to see fucking old Mad Max fucking kicking ass in the wasteland.
See, I hated Lethal Weapon 4 so much. I want to see these guys do one.
But I don't
more
like
older.
Lethal Weapon 3 either. That was just so cheesy.
No, Lethal Weapon 3 is terrible too, but after 1 and 2, I would like to see them just cap off that series with something that says, you know what, okay, we're going to do it right.
You know what? And if they do, they have to bring back Shane Black to write it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is you have to bring Shane Black in to write Lethal Weapon 5, and don't call it Lethal Weapon 5. It's got to have some cool kind of Lethal Weapon-esque title, but make sure that it's delineated from, and it's like, okay, Joe Pesci isn't here, and this is the story of these two guys, and this is their last thing, but I don't know if, I mean, I really think they are too old for this shit.
In Hollywood, they'll probably just call it the Lethal Weapon.
The Lethal
Like, Fast and Furious.
Lethal Weapons. They put an S at the end.
Hey, did you
yeah.
see
With a Z.
Fast and Furious?
I love Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious is awesome.
But see, everybody kept saying, why does Stallone want to go out and do Rambo again? I don't want to see an old Stallone go out there and do that.
And it was so great.
And it was great. He did it with 2 movies. He did it with
Rocky Balboa.
and then he did it with this. Yeah, I'm not going to count these old guys out as going back and doing another action film. It's just I don't really buy it when they say this is my last thing. It's just like when people say I'm giving up acting. It's like bullshit.
But they can't do it with Rocky anymore. I mean, I believe it. That's
They
the
can't do
line.
right. They can't do another Rocky.
I want one last really great Robert Forster film. That's what I want.
Robert Forster. Oh, Robert Forster from Jackie Brown and The Black Hole and
Alligator and Diamond Men, and I want one last really badass Robert Forster film.
You got one. What was the last movie he was in?
Ghosts of Girlfriends Past.
Oh, he was in that.
Yeah, he was the major.
No, I was gonna say Dragon Wars. There was a great Robert Forster movie.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Because Cole says Dragon Wars. That fool was so. I was an embarrassment.
Fucking hate that movie
That was
so
an embarrassment
much.
for him. Boy,
Holy shit!
I wish
do
Cole
hate
was
that
here so
movie.
you wouldn't even get into it. He jumped on my ass for saying how shitty that movie was.
Well, there we go. That was our email.
Well, no, we got another one coming up here.
well,
We got some. We got a couple of more. We got to wait for co-host to activate anyway, so we can do our District 9 thing.
Fucking boot that motherfucker up.
It says, who is this from? Let me get close to this. Jarla Brelk. I don't know what the fuck. Hey.
Jailbreak?
No, this doesn't say jailbreak. From across the room, it looks like jailbreak. But
You'd recognize jailbait, but
jailbreak. That's what I'm doing after jailbait. Let's see. He says, given that Lindsay Lohan skipped over starring in The Hangover, the role that Heather Graham eventually filled, is it difficult as a critic to have your prejudice about an actor's ability at the door and just enjoy a movie? Thanks, and I hope you guys have had a great time at Comic Con. Yeah, you know what? Oh, there's a PS here. Oh, this guy got a shirt. Thanks for the shirts, and one of them will make an appearance in my film. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going to see Spill walking around across a porn flick. There's a...
it's the Spill shirt.
Oh, what's that?
It's the Target.
Oh, yeah. Except instead of black, it's all... Never mind. Okay, so, you know what? I try not to have any prejudice against a certain actor because I've seen too many people turn a good performance right when you thought they were going to do something bad. For example, Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves surprised us right when we thought he was down, and then he goes off to do another movie we thought was bad. But, no, if Lindsay Lohan was in the movie and she did a good job, I wouldn't sit up here and hate the movie because she's just in it. I don't think you feel like that either. I don't think anybody feels like that. Well,
no, I think it's the answer to that is it's not hard for a critic. As a critic, you have to be open-minded at all times. You have to walk into a film ready to enjoy it and ready to embrace what an actor gives, even if that actor disappoints you every time. Otherwise, you shouldn't go to the film. Keanu Reeves is a perfect example of someone people always bitch about. I remember I was twisting arms back in summer of '99 saying, dude, you got to go see this new film, The Matrix. It's so awesome. And people were like, fuck you. It's got Keanu Reeves in it. I don't watch Keanu Reeves movies. He fucking sucks. You don't understand. He's perfect here. No, fuck that. I'm not watching that movie. And of course, now everyone's seen The Matrix and everyone acknowledges that that's his grand opus. But, yeah, no, I don't think it's hard at all.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's the answer right there. You got to be open-minded. I think there's a time in everybody's life when they aren't, but you learn how to be eventually. So we'll read one more. This is from John. It says, Corey, that other white guy. Nick, you're that other white guy.
Yeah, I'm whiter than white. I'm English white.
I was wondering if there were any movies in which you thought that the movie was terrible, but the soundtrack sounded beautiful. For me, my movie would have to be Batman and Robin because it was terrible, but the soundtrack was really good. Yes, I do have an answer for that because we were actually talking about that the other day.
Were we?
Yes, we were. Well, maybe Babalu, Jack, and I were talking about it, but The Crow 2, City of Angels.
Okay,
fuck you.
What?
That was my answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, I got something to pull out of my bag. This is it's a film that, I'm going back 13 years. Oh, fuck. That's my goddamn it. Yeah, no, Crow 2 City of Angels, incredible soundtrack, shitty fucking movie.
Yeah, no, it was a terrible movie, and actually the soundtrack was killer, and I thought when I heard the soundtrack, like The Crow, I was like, wow, this is kind of putting the story together for me, and then the movie just ended up being bullshit. It really hurt me because I love the soundtrack so much. I still listen to that soundtrack.
I got a better one, well, for me anyway, because I've seen Crow 2, but...
a better one?
Yeah.
No, a better one.
Look, I like that.
I think you gotta fuck yourself, Nick.
No, I meant like... It's,
don't you roll up in here and step on our dicks. You could say you've got another one, but you think you can go better than us? Really?
Okay.
Really?
A worse one then. All right.
What is it?
No, it's a shitty movie, but the soundtrack's amazing, which is Queen of the Damned. I love that soundtrack. That soundtrack is
movie was bad.
And the movie, yeah, it's awful. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a roller coaster film. Like every time you think it's getting good, you're like, oh, it's getting it. Oh no, it sucks again. Oh, it sucks again.
Yeah, I saw it on HBO.
I mean, I love the effects in that film where when the vampires incinerate, they like blow up in the air as these kind of big, translucent, like just pieces of ash, which I thought was really cool. And there were some great scenes, but yeah, that movie's shitty. Although the soundtrack didn't really do anything for me. Yeah.
Oh man, that's my favorite soundtrack of all time.
Here's another.
Well, you are British. I've heard your music. There's a reason we don't listen to it over here.
Like
here's
Rolling
a-
Stones,
okay.
you know, like Beatles, or
In the 60s.
Well,
You gotta go back like 40, 50 years.
Spice Girls you listen to. Like, yeah.
Hey, look, he's quiet. He's like, oh, yeah, I got that. I got
Shut
that
the
album.
fuck up. Yeah, I do.
I
I fucking love the Spice Girls.
Even I gotta admit,
So
when I
tell you
heard
what
that
I want,
song,
what I really, really want.
I loved it the first time I heard it. Like, who are these fucking girls, man? I love this shit. And like a week later, like, fuck.
When
That's
two
how I
become one, I need some love like I've never needed love before. I'm
Don't
gonna
look at me
make
singing
love
that. Don't
to
look at me
you,
when you do that.
baby. I've had a little love, now I'm back for more.
Thing is, I can't stop
It
looking at
sucked
them.
in the 90s. Sucks today. No.
What can you think?
Ooh, Arctic Monkeys.
I like Arctic. They're all right to me. You know, I mean, like
Apparently, their new album is disappointing. Everybody's been tweeting about it.
Prodigy.
Oh, okay. See, Prodigy's new album fucking kicks ass.
You think so?
Oh God, I love their new album.
I think I was just talking about this with you the other day. I think there's really just two songs that are absolutely amazing. The rest are not as amazing as like their previous album.
Well, which two do you think are amazing?
Omen and Invaders Must Die.
You don't like Piranha? Piranha fucking rock. That's the one. Piranha and Run with the Wolves are my two personal favorites off that album. But I also love Omen and Invaders Must Die. That album is just the entire album's on my MP3 player, and it's something I work out to and
This is a
jog to.
new project?
New project came out a couple months ago. Fucking incredible. It's called Invaders Must Die. I love the whole album. There's a few tracks on it that, like, I like Stand Up and I like World on Fire. The one that I'm not really big into is Colors and Take Me to the Hospital. But those are the only two that I'm kind of like, I'll skip this one now, but I'll listen to.
They're good. It's just that I expect so much from Prodigy because they influenced my life when I was growing up.
Nick,
and
talking to that fucking mic.
sorry, man. I'm just talking to here. So they weren't I was expecting like perfect, really. And it just wasn't Fat of the Land, in my opinion.
No, it's not Fat of the Land. In fact, what it is it's more the Prodigy experience. It's him kind of fusing the music he was making with like Fat of the Land and what he's been doing recently with a lot of the old sounds that he was using on his first few albums. Because there's a lot of music stylings in there that we haven't heard since the early 90s that he kind of brought back and updated. And that's what I like, is it's kind of a fusion of, this album is a fusion of all his albums together creating a new sound. And I really dig that.
Because Prodigy is really just one guy.
Yes.
And he had
The Prodigy.
Yeah, and he had two dancers at one time, and then he had the Firestarter guy that sang like one.
Well, he was one of the dancers.
Yeah. Was he also one of the dancers? But
Yeah.
everybody doesn't realize like it's just one guy really.
Yeah.
Prodigy. So yeah. I gotta check that album out because I actually like Prodigy. Fat of the Land is one of my favorite albums ever.
No, I love Fat Atlanta. I really do dig this album. It's so much better than the one he made. Because, God, he made that album early 2002, 2003.
Which one? Wait, Fat to the Land? No.
After Fat of the Land, he put out
sorry.
stuff, and I forget what it's called. But yeah, no, but this thing, I really love the whole album.
And I think "Smack My Bitch Up" is probably my all-time favorite video.
Really? Not Firestarter or anything?
No, "Smack My Bitch Up." Have you've seen the video, right? It's-
That's
yeah.
a fantastic music
Yeah.
video, that.
You see, I guess, maybe that's the thing is like, I love Fat of the Land, but if I were to pick a favorite Prodigy song, it would be Voodoo People.
That is a great
Because I
answer,
fucking
that.
love Voodoo People.
And there's so many different versions of that song, like
Yes.
different remixes, and they all sound so, like bang on.
They had a show called Amp. You remember telling you about that on MTV? And they played this remix of Voodoo People.
Yeah, we were talking about it last night.
And and I love that song too. So, but anyway,
And then, of course, I love Outer Space.
I think I've heard that.
Of course you have.
Yeah.
Live in outer space.
to find another race.
No, is it race or place? I can't remember.
I don't even. It's
never heard
it's
that.
awesome. It's
never heard that before.
It's kind of like it's a weird fusion of reggae with very fast dance music. It's really a cool fucking song.
Oh, never heard.
He's got a lot of really great stuff. I really love his work, and so I've been meaning to talk about this album for a long time. I'm glad you brought it up because I absolutely adore that album. I've been listening to it so much.
Go over to iTunes and see what this shit's all about.
It's really good, is what
It's
it's all
awesome.
about.
Can you think of another album then from a soundtrack?
No, where the soundtrack's good,
yeah.
not where the soundtrack. There's plenty of movies where there's a good soundtrack, but nothing where it's incredible. But where it's like I love the music, but I hate the movie as much as Crow 2 City of Angels, because that was just that had so much great stuff. It had White Zombie and the Toadies and just so much good music on it, and it just in fact that was the one that he did "I'm Your Boogeyman" for.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Rob
I'm
Zombie.
your boogeyman.
Yeah, Rob Zombie.
That's what I am.
What else they had? They had the people that you haven't even heard from and did some of the best work on that album.
Yeah.
PJ Harvey. What was that album? The band that
I need to dig that CD out because I've still got it.
Hole did the opening soundtrack. They did a cover of Gold Dust Woman.
Yeah, I hated Holdo, so I skipped over that.
I love that's one of the reasons why I bought that album.
Woman. Oh,
and what was that band? They actually did a really cool song on that soundtrack, and I didn't really like the band that much. Bush, yeah, did a really cool song on
Toadies
that.
had Paper Doll, which and of course Toadies were. Most people don't know Toadies that well. They might know Possum Kingdom, but here in Texas they were huge.
Yeah, they were from Dallas.
Yeah, they had like half a dozen radio hits here in the Texas area. So like I grew up. I've seen the Toadies perform like half a dozen times. I love the Toadies.
And then they had Iggy Pop do another cover. I Want to Be Your Dog on there. So that and
Iggy Pop was in the movie,
and he was really bad in the movie.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, it's terrible. But we talked about this last night too. I love the soundtrack to Spawn. You ever listen to the soundtrack to Spawn?
Oh, yes, mate.
Yeah, no, the soundtrack. That's another great one. The soundtrack to Spawn was great because they took two bands you normally wouldn't hear together and had them do a song together, do a cover.
They were like hard rock bands and electronic bands.
In fact, the Prodigy did one.
Yeah.
The Prodigy did one with, called Diesel.
Diesel Power?
Diesel Power.
I don't think it was that one.
No, Diesel Power was the opening track for Fat of the Land.
I can't remember.
Which had Kool Keith in it. Dr.
One Man Army.
One of our, okay. And yeah, no, that was a great where they fused rock bands with electronica, and it was really great album. And yeah, that movie sucked dick through a straw. It was fucking terrible.
That was another where I bought the album
shit.
and was looking forward to the movie, and it was like, fuck this movie, man. So hey, man,
how do you not like Piranha and Run with the Wolves, man?
Sorry, mate. I mean, I like Spawn because I think it's so shit that I actually find it funny to watch. So
you do?
I like my cheesy action movies. So.
Yeah, you do, man. Your taste sucks. So anyway, let's go ahead and go.
He's British. All right. Well then, good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
So polite. Good night.